Loud neighbors. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone, to I guess, not necessarily a special episode, but this one's a little different from what we normally do. Normally, we've just had different meads from different meaderies on the show.
Yeah.
This time around, we actually have a variety of different meads that we've had on the show before, so some of these may look familiar to you.
I think they all do. But this is kind of I don't want to say training video.
It's more like a history lesson, I guess, or an explanation.
Because we never did a what is mead.
Or the different types.
Yeah. And because there's so many, we throw around, oh, this is a traditional, this is a bochet, this is a melomel, this is a sicer.
Yeah.
And
or this one's a dry.
Yeah, that can get a little confusing. Yeah. I mean, we're
seasoned.
We're seasoned. Yeah. So, and even for us, we go, wait, which one's this one?
Yeah.
So we figured we'd lay out a little bit of what
the mead actually is,
and how they get the different flavors and whatnot. So we've got from several different companies. We've got Groenfeld showed here. We've got Four Brothers, of course. We've got which one's
most of it, I think, is Groenfeld.
Moonlight.
And then we've got one from Keys Meads.
Yeah.
So,
I think they're the only traditional we have left in the house.
Yeah. Well, actually, this one's kind of a traditional, I guess, but this one's it's an aged traditional, so it's got that aged. It's aged in the barrel, so it's a little different.
Yeah. So let's get into what a traditional mead is. So let's do this. We'll move these.
So we'll pull
around.
these off, and we'll put the traditional up front and center.
So traditional is very.
It's a pretty simple concept. All it really is water, yeast, which we don't have an image or an example of yeast, and really any type of honey that you want to use, and time. That's all it takes. And you just let it ferment. You can let it ferment to up, as little as 3 to 6 months, or a couple of years. It really just kind of depends on
how strong you want it.
How strong you want it, yeah.
How much you want that alcohol to come out, and our numbers are off. I'm guessing our numbers.
They come. The ones that we've had or that we've seen average anywhere between. I think the lowest one we've had is like 6.9, which was the regular Valkyrie's Choice from Groenfeld, all the way up to I think 19%, which was the one from Danskmjöd, the Viking's Blood.
Yeah, it was way up there, and you knew it, but it's all also.
And then there are the ones that lately that we've been having that are, 11 to 14 or somewhere in that range. Sorry,
we're going to be sipping throughout.
Gnats and stuff as well. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of this in my horn for right now, just so I have something to.
Leave a little bit.
Yeah.
I want some later. Anyway, so that's going to get you your traditional, your 4 basic ingredients. And this is so the idea of mead, a honey wine, it's thousands of years old. This is the oldest fermented beverage in the world, and people don't know about it. And that was why we started the channel, was to get the word out. Like,
realistically, you could dumb it down as just it's just a different type of wine.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, but it's different. It's different from wine in the sense of what actually gets it started.
Right. And
because wine is water, sugar, and whatever kind of fruit you want to start with, and that's pretty much the base. And then you just you age it from there, and whatever you want. But mead it's water and honey. And, a little bit of yeast to keep that, that fermentation going.
And, these are, you can do this, as we've learned, underneath your freaking dorm room. Not condoning that.
Yeah.
But it can be as simple as that. Just made wherever you are, whenever you are. And
whenever you feel like it.
So the next one up, you want to do a.
So a lot of times, people start with the once they've figured out how to make the traditional that they want, they tend to take that and they'll ferment it further with different things, whether it's fruit or, throw it in a barrel.
Or different spices.
Yeah.
So like...
And sometimes they take that traditional, or they'll take the honey that they use, and then they cook it down, and they mix it with that traditional, and it caramelizes those sugars that's in the honey, and it brings out a sweeter flavor. And actually, different honeys produce different flavors as well.
You're going way too in depth on this.
I know. But the ones that we've discovered, I mean, there's generic honey, and then you have like meadow foam, which produces that like toasted marshmallow flavor that we've come across a few times.
Yeah, I think we had that one on last night.
Yeah, well, we had one that was like that. Yeah,
we're pretty sure that was a meadow foam.
Yeah.
And then you do the cooked, and that's boucher, right?
Yep, that's the boucher style.
Where all it is, the only difference really
is they caramelize the honey.
Yeah, theory-wise, is you caramelize the honey, and now you've changed the flavor profile of the mead. And
usually it's sweeter. Depending on how long you ferment it, it's either drier or semi-sweet, or it's super sweet.
Yeah. Well, so then you, like you were saying, you throw in different fruits. Now you add a fruit. Now you have, let's grab the apple there.
Yeah. So apples or blueberries. You have a melomel.
And then you come up. Yeah, you have. And
you have things like the Sicer. Or, this one, I think, what is this one?
Blueberry.
So this is blueberry from Moonlight. It's called Wild. We've had it on the show. This one's the dry one.
Yeah, it was super dry.
Yeah. And then the Sicer was one that we tried, and we didn't really... It was too much of the sulfur at first, but we've discovered that if you let it sit for a little bit, it kind of mellows
Yeah, because we
out.
did that revisited episode, and it was... Actually, that's what I have in my horn right now, is Groenfeld Sicer. So it's...
Yeah.
So you start adding things in, now you're changing what all is in there, which is going to, of course, change the flavor profile. It's going to change the color.
Well, and you can even use other more sour ingredients. So like with sour meads, some people throw in citrus fruits, oranges, limes, lemons, anything that has that like the ascorbic acid or the citric acid and has that sour flavor to it. This one was from Groenfeld. It's a
it's got
it's like a lime and
raspberry.
raspberry. It was very good. It tasted just like a raspberry limeade.
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
And then you go to, like we brought up, spices. So we have, clear these out here as we go through our rattle off, because we probably should have done this from the get-go, but we weren't thinking we wanted mead. You have something like Groenfeld Winter Warmer, where it is. See, we don't have allspice out here, right?
No, but we've got, most of the time, the basics are cinnamon.
Yep.
Cloves.
Yep.
And nutmeg.
Yep. Along with vanilla, blood orange, and
maple syrup.
And we've had quite a few that have had
a lot
maple
of those
syrup
traditional, like, winter style flavors, the trio that seems to come up the most is cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves.
Yeah.
Now, and I use that in like my peach cobbler whenever I make that, and it fills the room in the house with an aroma of Yuletide.
Yeah.
Or for those of you that celebrate Christmas, it's that Christmas smell that everyone's so familiar with.
Yeah. That when you walk in, it's December, it's wintertime, it's celebrating with people that you love. Oh. That's just what it is, and it's that smell, and that's what the Winter Warmer was dead on, and that's what the spices are dead on. And then
you get those interesting ones too that are more herbal flavored.
Oh yeah.
And you start throwing. We don't have an example of it, but Silverhand makes one that is a rosemary and thyme flavor. So we have rosemary and sage, but these give off very pungent aromas because they are very strong smells. I like to use them in chicken and pork.
Well, that's what we did with the Scarborough Fair from Silverhand. We used it to cook chicken, and oh my god, it got this beautiful taste, and then that mead kind of enhanced that
Mhm.
flavoring of
That
the chicken
sweetness from
and
the
brought
mead.
everything out. It was so freaking good. We need to get some more and do that. Ooh, game
We need to do
hens.
that again.
Game
Oh
hens.
yeah, Cornish game hens.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
So it's kind of gonna be one of those.
Want some?
Oh yeah. Tangent episodes. I could see.
And then you start getting into these other flavors where they'll take a traditional and they'll age it in some kind of different barrel or cask. So this is a hand of tears from Four Brothers. We've had it on the show. It was a club flavor.
Yeah.
It's aged in a bourbon cask.
Yep. And
This one's from Groenfeld. It's their Vanier. It was a re-release. They aged it on oak staves.
well, and then we had a couple. What was it? I know there's another one.
Our favorite one has been the oak aged Valkyrie's Choice.
Yeah. And by putting these meads into a bourbon barrel, a rum barrel, we saw that from Keys Meads.
Yep.
And these different type of alcohols, it soaks in that flavor and it changes the flavor profile. The one from last night, from Birminghorn, it was where they aged it in a whiskey barrel.
Oh yeah,
You
the Wandering Woden.
And that was it changes the flavor so much in so many different ways depending on how long you put it in there.
Well, and even then, like, I mean, you talk about using, different. Not necessarily. It's not necessarily an ingredient so much as it's a way of, like, firing the barrel that you use it in. The peat moss from. It was another one that we had from Birminghorn. It was the Hill Dweller.
Yeah. And you do these little subtle things, and it can completely change the flavor, which is insane. Blueberries.
Yeah.
It's such a. I don't want to say simple. It's a simple concept.
But those little decisions have big impacts on the overall outcome of food.
Yeah.
Well, no, this and that.
Hey, if any of the mead companies is watching right now,
Granny Smith and some blueberries.
yeah, just for giggles.
Yeah, we probably drink it.
Probably it's us. Of course, we're gonna drink it. But the little changes can do so much.
Yes, they have big outcomes on the overall flavor of what it is that you're drinking.
And even to, what was the one from Chaucer's?
Oh yeah,
Where they
it was the sparkling one.
Yeah, they had a sparkling one, which
I'm not sure what they put it. I think it's just they carbonate it really high.
yeah, and then you have the other one from there where you mix mead, a traditional mead, and a wine.
Yeah, fruit flavored wine. It was the raspberry mead.
Yeah.
They took the raspberry wine, and then they fermented it with their traditional mead.
And of course, you get that beautiful mead flavor. We really need to get some like netting
Bug
or
spray,
something.
yeah.
You get that beautiful mead flavor, and then their wine, which with Chaucer's,
It's very, very light, very smooth.
yeah, it
Got
it
that
doesn't
nice raspberry
overpower.
flavor.
It enhances the flavor of the mead. It complements the mead. And it's one of those things that you're like, oh, what else can we mix this with? I kind of want to do like a mixed drink of thinking Vanier and Glenfiddich 18. So you have that beautiful old Scotch taste.
With that sweetness from
Yeah, we're gonna have to try that when we go inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a new drink by any means.
No, it was being made by the Vikings
for
centuries.
And China, it was all the way back to 7,000 years ago or something ridiculous
like that.
number.
Yeah, they found one out there.
So when you go to your local wine store and you pass by Meads, it's not a new age thing.
No, generally, so because it's so not well known right now. Most of the time, you're gonna find it in your dessert section, your dessert wine section. If you just look at the label, if it says mead, then it's a mead.
And of course, they use the words honey wine.
Right. So if it says honey wine or mead, it's a mead.
Yeah.
As I said before, mead is just water, yeast, honey, and thyme.
And well, we've even noticed a traditional from Keys Meads tastes different from a traditional from Zinbeats.
Yeah. So this one has like that weird. I don't know if like they put like a coconut flavor in there, because I get coconut every time I drink that.
Right. And it's
whereas like a traditional from, I think the Valkyrie's Choice from Groenfeld is their traditional.
Yeah.
And that one is just honey. Excuse me. But it's very, very good. It's very drinkable. We've had a couple of other traditional styles from other. The one we had from Birmingham.
Yeah. They had two different traditionals. They had a drier and a semi-sweet.
Yeah.
And
well, even Four Brothers. I think it's their Odin's Harafen. Is their traditional one? I can't remember.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're watching this, and we've said something wrong about which one is the traditional, please put up a comment, because we have had several meads from several different companies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and not to mention we're not.
I'm gonna try to tag as many of the meaderies as I can with the video, and I will try to tag you guys all on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Just to give you a mention, you can kind of put it up, use it for whatever you want to.
Yeah, because if we get one more person to buy your meads, and that's any of the meaderies that we mentioned or tried or whatever, that makes us feel good.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what else? I think that's about it. In all
yeah,
reality.
I think I really think that's probably it. I don't think that there's really any other style that we haven't talked about or tried.
Yeah, I'm sure we're forgetting something.
Yeah. Oh, the Methiglen.
Methiglen, yes. Which
I don't remember what the Methiglen was. You want to pull it up? Sorry, we've been over here eating fruit and.
Well, no, we're doing exactly what we've always said we do with Methiglen.
So it's a mead flavored with herbs and or spices. So, like the Scarborough Fair. Traditional style meads crafted from honey, water, and yeast.
Go the other way. Yeah.
Fruits, or melomels. They're made with fruits.
Oh yeah, we even forgot the. Some of them have coffee in it. Cause why not?
Yeah. The Bjarga Kraken from Four Brothers had coffee in it.
There was the Bright-Eyed from Groenfeld.
Yep. Well, that one was more of like an iced coffee and blueberry, but still.
Yeah, but it's still really good.
Yeah, I don't really know which one that would fall into, because that's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any other in here. Piment is blended, or honey blended with grapes and then fermented. Then like I said, you have your melomel. It's just mead, fermented or flavored with fruit. And that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're forgetting some. If you want to educate us, please, by all means.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you educate us, send us a link to where we can get whatever that one we missed is, so we can try it, because it's us. But yeah, so
I think that kind of wraps up.
Yeah, when we're
today's video, and we're running out of daylight, so
we're gonna be doing a couple more videos. We just got a special delivery from Ohio, so we're going to be hitting that one up.
We've got another one that's going to be kind of a big one for us here in the next couple of weeks.
That'll probably be this weekend.
Yeah, it may be a bit of a tearjerker, and so just bear with us with that one.
But you good?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll wrap this one up once you finish pouring the sour there.
Well, as always, be great to one another.
Drink responsibly.
And Skøl.
Skøl.
Oh man,
That Sicer's definitely growing on me.
dude, that's cold.
Oh,
You
yeah?
Try that.
I like it better cold.
Yeah.